Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. In this lesson, I want to go into something the brother Ashiyar shared it a couple of days ago. And this is off of a call for an uprising. And I just want to focus in this part of the video, starting here at 14 minutes and 6 seconds, where he goes into China and their, if I'm not mistaken, a social credit system. And if you listen to individuals like Klaus Schwab, he has said that, in so many words, that what they have going on over there with their social credit system over there in China is the model. That's the word, the model that they want to bring over here to the U.S. Now, mind you, Klaus Schwab is what you would call a NGO, right? NGO meaning a non-governmental official. He is not in the Senate. He's not a part of, Trump's cabinet or anything like that. But yet in years past, he has said certain things, or you've had certain individuals that you would label NGOs, which is non-governmental officials, saying how this should happen in the world and that should happen in the world. And yet they don't have anything to do with the president, anything to do with the White House. So it shows you that the elites have their hands in every aspect, right? If I'm not mistaken, I believe the Bilderberg group, they have their group meeting every year, and they go and have what essentially they tell the public is that they have a conversation about things affecting, if I'm not mistaken, Europe and the West, right? Relations between Europe and the West. So they have that happen every year, and they have conversations about stuff. Now, think about it. If you're having conversations, if you're having annual meetings, right, every year to talk about certain things that are happening, right, in the world or your relationship with another country, and these things are bad, you mean to tell me, hey, we're just getting together to talk about these things, but hey, there may be a situation that somebody see that, hey, if we don't get a handle on this, this could lead to something very bad. So you mean to tell me that there's no influence there, that there's no type of, hey, we want this to happen. They're just getting together just to have conversation, right, about how the relationship between Europe and the West can get better. It's just meaningless conversation. Well, maybe not meaningless, but just a conversation about things happening, and then, that's all. And maybe we share a couple of things to the public, and then we go about our business. But what if it's something crucial and you see an issue there? You mean to tell me that that's it? It just stops at a conversation and you guys don't have any type of influence or, type of say of what goes on? You see, it's put out there to the people that, hey, we don't have a say. But when you look at the way things eventually get implemented in the world, you see that they are slowly moving towards, right, the MOTB. They are slowly moving towards implementing that. And I hope to God that you don't hear all that loud noise going on in the background. So I apologize for that. Hopefully that doesn't mess up the video. But I'm going to play this so you can see it. Lord's willing, it's saved on ChatGPT. I have something on ChatGPT. I asked it a certain question. Lord's willing, it's saved. Going to get some precepts, and Lord's willing, this video is edifying.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now, the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good.
Now, it's very interesting that she said they're given a mark. Now, we know what in Revelation 13 and 16, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark. Now, I am not saying that what China has over there is the mark. I am not saying that. Do not get confused. Do not get, don't go all over the place, right? But we understand that if we look at the model and we look at what's written of in Revelation 13 and 16, they were essentially given a new system to where they would be monitored, they would be tracked, right? You saw that in the first couple of seconds where people are crossing the street, and you see that it had facial recognition. So they're monitored, they're tracked, they're identified, right? That's the word that's becoming more used. ID. Now it's digital ID, right? but still identification nonetheless. And with that small device the size of a grain of rice, they will be able to identify everybody in this newer system, right? The NWO, the New World Order. So it's all about identification, tracking, ID. Who is this? Where did you come from? Are you in our system? Where can we find you? And are you? And it's finally about control. If you listen to the interview between Alex Jones and Aaron Russo, Aaron Russo. I always do that. Aaron Russo had a friendship with Nick Rockefeller, right, which is a family of the Rockefellers, and it was revealed to Aaron Russo that Nick Rockefeller told him that they want everybody to have a device in them, so that way they can control everybody. And when Aaron Russo was going through certain things and describing it, he even said that how they can take off that device and control you. Alex Jones responded with total control, because that's what it's about. And that's what you're seeing happen here in China, where they have total control. And they're going to give you two scenarios with a woman who completely listens to who completely submitted to the government, and a man who pretty much did something against the system, and he was punished for it. And it's about control. It's about changing your mind. But I'm going to get all into that, Lord's willing, so I'm going to continue playing the video.
Around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it, and anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep...
Okay, so seeing as how they said that, I had a different setup for how I want to do this, but seeing as how they said that, we're just going to go piece by piece here. Right, so you heard them saying that. Let's repeat that again.
All of its subject
Forces us to be well behaved.
It's a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may
So the first guy said, I think being a part of the system is a good thing. They have to have rules. And the other one said we need to be controlled in so many words, right? Now, I asked ChatGPT this. Now, anytime I ask ChatGPT certain questions, it'd be giving me some BS. Now, it has some words here that I like, that I want to just grab all these different words and now bring them together. So the question I asked, can the Greek word poieo, which is from Revelation 13 and verse 16, be a means of control? Maybe not the best way I asked that question, but like I said, sometimes when I ask it, it just be giving me a whole bunch of BS. But it says here, the Greek word poieo, which means to make or to create, or when you read it in the blue letter, it says to form or to fashion, right? But essentially along the same lines, to make or create, right? So when it says, and he calls it all, right? Because the word cause it goes into the Greek word poieo, which means to create. So when you read that, and he create, the he is talking about the top banking families, the elites. So what are they creating? They're creating a system to where, right? Let's go to it real quick. Hopefully that doesn't go anywhere. Right? With understanding, verse 16, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he, which is the top banking family, it's not one individual, right? Cause it, which to create, to make, right? Essentially a system, right? That would affect all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So they're creating, right, a society to where people would need to have this mark, right? And essentially everyone, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, would have to take this. And if you don't, as it says in verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. But again, going to that word to create, you see here it says, the Greek word poieo, which means to make or to create, can indeed serve as a means of control, especially in philosophical and socio-cultural contexts. In literature and art, the act of creation can empower individuals or groups by allowing them to shape narratives, identities, and experiences. Now, let's pause right there. Right, let's take those three words, narrative, identity, and experiences. Now, let's use China for example, because it is the example. They have changed things in China with that social credit system to where now they created a system that now, right, allows them to shape the identity and experiences that those in China at one point they didn't have the social credit system. But because they implemented this thing, they created it, they are now shaping the narrative of their minds, as you heard the individual, right? The identity and experiences, where the first individual, the first guy said that it's good to have be a part of the system because you need to have rules. His mind, because of creating the system, his mind has now been shaped to what they want. So now he's down with the system. He's going to do whatever he can because, hey, he doesn't want any issues. He's 100% with it. And by creating this new system, right, however long the system's been going, by creating this new system, his mind has now been shaped. That's why because I like certain words that they use here. His mind has now been formed, shaped, right? I'm sorry. By allowing them to shape narratives, identities, and experiences, right? They have now changed the experience from what it was previously without it, right? By creating the system, now the people are experiencing new things. So their experiences, their lives have now been shaped to this new system that has been created. It is no longer the past, whatever system that they were using before. However, it can also be used manipulatively to impose ideologies or values, thus exerting control over perceptions and behavior. See, so like that one individual, he's 100% bought into the system. So now they don't understand that, hey, with this new system that they're in, they have now been manipulated and controlled, right? So now their perception is different. No longer do they think, I don't think that, the government should have all this information, my facial recognition. But because they have been manipulated, right, and also through fear, because they don't want anything bad or to be separated from society, they are now controlled to where now they can't speak out against their government. They can't say anything. If they do anything or say anything that the government doesn't like, their credit system goes low, and then they'll be put up on a billboard where their name is put out there. It's pretty much like a wall of shame. So now they're looking like a fool. Like now you're seeing your name up there with your system, with your social credits score low. And now everybody's going to look at you weird. Imagine your family like, yo, what's up with you? What are you doing? Like, how are you getting yourself in this trouble? Like, what's up with you? All that adds pressure to where now it's like, yo, let me just get myself in line. Let me not say anything. Or you may have seen a friend like, yo, I don't want to go through what he's going through. I don't want people up there. Imagine even like this. You got a girl that you want to talk to. But then next thing you know, your credit score is low. She ain't going to want to talk to you. She see your name up there. Oh, so what type of stuff is you into and all that type of stuff, right? Why is your name up there? Like, what did you do? You're now looked at as a criminal, although nobody knows what you've done, right? They don't have to put up there what you've done. All people got to do is see your name up there and see your score and see it low. And now anytime people see you or if they know you, they're now going to give you the side eye. They're not going to look at you weird. And you're going to feel like you're separated from society. And that's going to, manipulate you and force you because you're now being controlled to now be a part of the system, to now sit there and say, let me get my act together. All right, I'll just do whatever they say, right?
Forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it. And anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state.
So he said by having all that data, they'll be able to create a more moral society. But a society based upon whose vision? Upon their vision, what they want, right? And I did a lesson a couple of weeks ago with Yuval Noah Harari when he was saying that elites, right, who control the data will be able to essentially shape the future. And you're seeing that with, hey, Beijing's elites, right? They were able to shape the future that they want by having all this data amassed on people. And that's the other thing, having data upon people. If you listen to individuals like Yuval Noah Harari that talk about data, amassing a whole bunch of data on people. Why? So that way they can have a bunch of information on you and be better able to control you. Once you're in that system, once they have all this data on you, once they have all this stuff on you, they'll be able to better control you. Even the person, I don't know this person's name, but whoever is, call for an uprising, whatever, he even said it. The same thing. That's why they have all the things like, hey, if you search this online, you'll start to see it pop up on your, on your YouTube and things like that for ads and stuff like that. The algorithm, right? Because they're gathering that data. Oh, he went to this website, so maybe he likes this, right? Even the YouTube algorithm does the same thing, right? Suggestions. Hey, we see you like these type of videos, or we see you like this. So, oh, we're gonna this, and we're gonna give you that, right? Amassing a whole bunch of data. It shows you the direction that they want to go in, right? They want to get to know you so that way they can better control you. Same thing like a man that wants to get to know a woman, right? When he sits there and says he wants to know a woman, right? You know, especially if you women are watching, you know what it means when a man says he wants to get to know you. But what? He has to sit there and say, hey, I want to get to know you. But first, tell me about yourself, right? Open up. Tell me about you. Who are you? What are you about? What do you like to do? Where do you like to go? And now he's going to form himself, right? If you're dealing with a wicked individual, right? He's going to now form himself and change himself into that individual that you would like. And you're going to fall for his tricks, fall for his deceit. And then he's going to get what he wants, which is the box. And then after that, he's gone. You see? And that's essentially what they're doing. It's nothing along the lines any different. Let's get all this data on you. Let's find out who you are. And then find a means to now control you. Once we know who you are, once we know what you like, we'll be able to control you from that point on. And hey, if you don't want to comply, well, you're going to be separated. And you're going to feel that pressure until eventually you break, and then you want to join onto us.
We'll go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. Their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Xiao Wenwang is a model citizen. She lives in Nanjing, a testing ground for social ranking. Married with a child, she has a job in a retirement home, no debts, and she wouldn't dream of jaywalking.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social credit.
In theory, everything can be taken into account in the social score, even the most innocuous errands like supermarket shopping. When Xiao Wenwang makes an electronic payment, her purchases tell the state a lot about her. Buying cigarettes would count against her. On the other hand, nappies show she's an attentive mother. Beer could indicate alcoholism. She'd be better off buying water. In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are only 18.
So you see how just with having this system, it's now shaping her mind. She's being manipulated and controlled, but to them, it's just a normal thing, but they don't see that they're being manipulated. Instead of, what's wrong with having a drink here and there? But if she does that, she knows that it'll affect her system, and it will stop her from getting little bonuses and little benefits that she gets as she's going to get into, as she gets a deduction off of on the bus. But you're seeing how her mind is being shaped, right? Again, going back to what? Here where I asked, by allowing them to shape narratives, identities, and experiences, her experience in life has now been altered. It's been changed. However, it can also be used manipulatively to impose ideologies or values, thus exerting control over perceptions and behavior. So this person may not even be I don't want to say alcoholic, but a person that likes to drink, right? But you do have alcoholics out there. Right? This person, she may like to have a drink, but she understands that, hey, right? There's a saying, there's a comedian called Eddie Griffin. He used to talk about how his mom used to beat him. And he said how pain is a reminder of what not to do, because he remembers that, hey, when he did foolishness, that pain, that beating that his mom gave him, it came back into his recollection, right? It came back into his memory. Same thing here. Hey, I want to have a drink, but pause, let's stop. If I do that, there's a chance that my system may go, my score may go down. And if I do too much, right, because it's based upon them, it's not based upon, okay, well, you drink one, that's fine. Now, maybe it may be like that, right? But let's say they see you buying a bunch, right? They may sit there and say, you kind of think like we're going to deduct that down a little bit by however many points. So that's now controlling your mind, right? You're experiencing life, right? Manipulating you to where it's like, you know what? I'd rather buy the water. That's why you saw the alcoholic drink on the left and the water on the right. Yeah, nah, I'm not going to get that. I'm going to just get me the water and just, whatever. They are now controlling you. Every facet of your life. And that's what they want to bring over here in America as well with the MOTB. That's why Klaus Schwab said China is the model for what should be done in America, right? But people over here don't think that something like that will happen. Something like that will never happen. But it is happening, right? Your experiences and everything like that are being controlled and changed right now as you see it. The Amazon Palm Pay, if I'm not mistaken, the Whole Foods thing, right? Paying with your palm. They're showing you that, hey, they're getting you ready for the next step. Right? All these things on YouTube, the algorithm, the way it watches you and it sees what you like, what you don't like. The same thing, whatever you may, even just on, your search history on Google, all that's being recorded. All that is data being gathered on you to find out who you are. So when the time is ready, we know who you are, what you like, it's like being God over you. So now, once we're like a God over you, we know, having all this data about who you are, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, where you like to go, where you don't like to go, we can now better control you. It's not about serving you. It's not about making your life easy. It's about better controlling you. But as it says, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Jeremiah 4. Yes. Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 22. My people, I'm sorry, no. No, not that. What is it? My people have been destroyed for lack of knowledge. Let me see if I can find that. That was Jeremiah. Hosea 4 and 6. Okay, my bad. Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Right? So our people, and just people in general, are destroyed for lack of knowledge. They don't know these type of things, and they don't see or want to see that these things are happening. So therefore, they're going to be consumed and be destroyed by it, and thereby their lives are going to be completely controlled by the system. But not just the Lord's people, right? Because the Lord's people, which are you Israelites, are going to be heavily affected by it. But people in general are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So let's continue.
In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are only 18,000 model citizens. For Xiaowen Wang, there are perks to be had, such as paying half price for the bus.
I get discounts for all public services, even at museums. And the library is free for me, thanks to my score.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
Now, you just listened to all their responses, and what was it all? They don't know what these people did. Now, maybe they do put it up there, maybe, right? They didn't get into it. But as far as this, I'm going to say it's a documentary, they didn't say anything about what they did. But these people are now looked at as, oh, stay away from them. Don't have anything to it. But you don't know what the hell they did. And it's going to be the same thing with us. We're going to be labeled as evildoers, bad guys, but what the hell did we do? Oh, I'm sorry for just reading you a couple of scriptures, telling you, hey, to stop doing wickedness. I'm a bad person. But that's the same thing. You don't know what the hell these individuals did. But because their names are plastered up there, they have low scores. And you see now their address, which is like crazy as well, right? But that adds to the shame. People now know where you live, right? Anytime people see you, they're going to give you the side eye. What was it? One woman said they have to be condemned. Oh, they're not honest people. Do you even know what they did? No. But because what? You see that up there, that their minds have now been, again, shaped. There's now a narrative, oh, these guys are bad. They're bad based upon what? Because their names are plastered up here on the wall of shame? What did they do that made them bad? I don't know, but hey, if your face is up there and your information is up there, you had to do something bad. But not knowing any of the intricacies of what they may have done. But because they're on the wall of shame, they're automatically bad. Condemn them. Seeing how the minds of people are now being controlled and manipulated over there in Beijing, same thing wants to be brought over here in America.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to 0. On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. But he only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
Liu Hu is among a tiny minority of people who have dared to criticize the system, which some are calling a digital dictatorship.
I worry because I think many people like me will be deprived of individual freedoms, and all of us will live with restrictions of one kind or another.
After our meeting, Liu Hu learned that his name had been removed from the blacklist, but he still has a long way to go if he doesn't want to languish at the bottom of the social credit hierarchy.
So you're seeing there that what? Even he knows that what? And people call it a digital dictatorship. And that's essentially what they want to bring over here with America with Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. Let's go back to it. Right? Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? And that's a small device the size of a grain of rice that they want put, whether it be in the right hand or in the forehead, right? Under the skin. And there's even people in Sweden that have it right now, right? Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. So unless you have this device, you are restricted from being a part of society. Because that's what part of society is about, buying and selling, right? People sell you goods, you buy those goods. So, and it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save, another word for save meaning unless. So unless you have that device in you, you're not going to be able to buy anything. You're not going to be able to sell anything. You're not going to be able to partake in that partake in society like that. Save he that had the mark. So unless you have this, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to get a job because very soon that's going to be a part of jobs as well. Because how else are they going to be able to pay you? They got to put the money somewhere. And hey, if we're not accepting cards anymore, all your information, all your data is on that small device. And that small device could very well have a certain number, right, tied to it, whatever it is for you. And with that number, hey, that is now your digital identification number, right? Kind of like your social security number, right? Just take your social security number and just tie it to that device. And now we're not only taking all the data that we have on you, but also just as an example, take your social security number, tie it to that device as well. And now this is your identity along with that device. So now, hey, if you want to get paid or whatever, we send the money to your if I'm not mistaken, to that number. But hey, if you're not tied into the system, how are you gonna get paid? So where's your thing? So we can send the money to you, right? The same thing like what you do with your bank when you want to have direct deposits, right? You have your account number and your routing number. Same thing, just slightly different, but it's essentially the same thing. So again, as you saw there in the video, it goes into essentially it's a digital dictatorship, and that's what they're bringing over here to America as well. Just to go back to ChatGPT, I asked it a couple more. It says, for example, in a political context, those in power might use poeo to craft a specific national identity or historical narrative, but let's remove those words. But it says those in power, right? Who are those in power? The top banking families, the elites, and the puppets that they use underneath, like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not really in control. He is just a puppet being used by the elites, right? To craft, right? Let's just say a certain way they want society to be, that align with their agenda. In this way, the act of creation becomes a tool for influencing public opinion and maintaining control over societal norms. So I just removed that national identity and historical narrative and put society, right? So again, let's read it again. For example, in a political context, those in power, the elites, might use poeo to craft a society that aligns with their agenda. In this way, the act of creation becomes a tool for influencing public opinion and maintaining control over societal norms. Right. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's pretty much it. My bad. I thought I had something else, but I believe he goes into something else a little bit.
He doesn't want to languish at the bottom of the social credit hierarchy.
And of course, that's what hell on earth looks like. People will still dismiss it and say, well, Big Brother's never going to knock on your door and ask to sleep with your children. But if you ask a Democrat...
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. Okay, but hey, he said that, not me, but also fair use as well. So I'll end the video here. I hope and pray that this video has been edifying. In ending, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to those elect. Shalom.